And we're back with the People Chronicles. I'm Elaine McDevitt. I'm Jackie Hoffman as we finish out our People Chronicles with you. Such an interesting story. And I really love the fact that it's such a great success story here in Berks County. So you do a lot of other things aside from being a CEO, which is a mighty big title.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I love to do is, it's a small company. The title's not that big.
You
but,
don't sell yourself short. We like that.
In the community, well, obviously we have a very active business community here, and it's wonderful. And there's so many really worthwhile organizations to offer help to, or to help grow and whatnot. Obviously, as a mother and a working person, I can only limit what I do. But I've been involved with the Boy Scouts for many years because my son is an Eagle Scout.
Congratulations.
And I had been on that board for several years, just recently leaving. I loved to do all the PR work for Wilson Music Theater Company. Wilson Theater Company. They did so many productions during the show, and in the summer my daughter was part of that, so I was able to get to know her friends and what she was going through a little bit while writing and doing the press on that, and I loved it. One of my biggest things is BCTV. I've been on the board for actually 10 years, and I've been the vice president for the last few. I was actually interim president for a few months in between two positions. And I love BCTV because I told you I lived out of town for so many years.
Right.
And when you live out of town, you rarely know anybody. You don't run into people you know. So when I moved back to Reading when I was, I think, 28, I started running into people from high school that I hadn't seen. People, and I love that. So BCTV to me is just such a bringing people together in the community, and I see people I know on BCTV all the time. When I'm on BCTV, people see me and say, "Hey, I saw you on BCTV," and it's just a really great opportunity to help everybody in the area understand what's available to them and what's going on, and it's just a really friendly community organization. I love it.
And aside from being involved in these different activities and meeting people, what else do you get out of it? What else does Elaine get out of giving back to the community? How does it make you feel?
Well, over the past 10 years with what all we've been doing with the Rose Corporation, I mean, like it or not, I have grown. I have learned so much, and it makes me feel really good because I've had to pick so many brains in order to understand so many things that now, if I'm sitting on a board or a committee or even doing just little things, I can give some of that knowledge back and maybe prevent somebody from, not facing any type of, train wrecks. Right now with BCTV, I'm the co-chair for Oktoberfest, which is coming up October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. I've been the chair for a few years in the past, and this year we're doing something brand new. It's for our 20th anniversary. So because it's all been brand new, we've really had to rework everything. It used to be a 6-night auction. Now it's a 3-night. We're doing an online auction. So there's really a lot going on that. And I guess because I've been through this process so many times in my work life that when I get to help with charitable organizations, I just feel like I can add back. Plus, when you're a volunteer, people just love you. Not like at work when you walk in the door. They're like, hey, you have to do this. I need that. But when you're a volunteer, people just really appreciate your time, and you like that. It feels good.
And there are a lot of people that I run into personally that will say, well, what can I do to help out? Well, how can I help out in the community?
Yes.
And they don't know about the, little avenues that lead to the big highway, which is really exceptional in our area of Berks County. So it's nice to let people know that there are different ways that you can help out.
I remember when my son was a Tiger Scout and my husband was the den leader, and I would participate. I would bake for the bake sales and do this and this, and then they were looking for a committee chair, and the person who had that position seemed just so smart to me and so everything, and I'm like, oh, and they asked me, would you be the committee chair for this little Boy Scout troop? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think I could do that. That's really da-da-da. And I did it. And now when I look back on it, I laugh at myself because I think you get scared of what it looks like to you. But once you get involved in it and you realize the support that you have around you and your own common sense and the fact that, you're bringing new ideas to the table, whether you know it or not. And all of a sudden you're doing it and it's no big deal. But it's funny how you're so petrified at first that you're not going to live up to the person who held that position before or something.
And it sounds like you overcame a lot of fears that you maybe once had, which is a good feeling.
Actually, my biggest fear was the public speaking. I mean, people laugh at me because I'm very loud. But I was always afraid to speak in front of people. And after my dad died, that fear became so minimalized by everything else that was happening. I used to have to get out in front of the guys at the shop and talk to them about what was happening and keep them informed. I wanted them to be aware of what was going on. I wanted them to know we were there, we were going to stay. And now I never get nervous anymore, rarely. And that's amazing to me. So I was 43 and all of a sudden public speaking was nothing to me. And before that it was something to be very fearful of.
Because that's what I'm going through now to this very day. Public speaking is my biggest fear. That's funny that you should say that.
Wow.
So, but one other thing that I wanted to ask you about was you spoke of a woman at your father's funeral, Julia
Klein.
So at this particular time, is there someone that you can think of that you can take their hand right now along the way and teach them what she taught you? Or maybe our listeners and viewers that you could say to them something that as you lead someone along the way or as they can hear the People Chronicles from you and your story?
You know, the only person that really comes to my mind is my daughter. My daughter's 18 and we have a great relationship. And I guess, and my daughter's inherently wise. And I guess what I try to really do is, you know, especially with the fear thing, I waste a lot of time being fearful. And I think really I try to mentor her along and bring her along. But I'm also involved with Junior Achievement.
You didn't mention that. There's another one. We need a big checklist
just
in
to
here.
a certain degree.
And
not as much as I would like to, but there's only so much time in a day. But I'm going to the Young Women's Symposium next week. And what a great opportunity. I have met so many wonderful women there that have come to tell their stories to the girls and to help mentor them along. And I'm inspired, you know. So it's just, I don't know. It's just like a woman thing. We inspire each other.
Absolutely.
I shouldn't say that because men inspire me all the time too. In fact, two of the most wonderful mentors over the past 10 years have been Dave Beckley and Rich Randall, who have come into our business and have helped us and coached us and brought us to the next level. And again, never can repay. Have to find a way to pay it forward.
And for the folks that want to get involved in doing something, anything, what would you say to them? Just to go to the specialty that maybe they're interested in? Or
oh, my goodness. There are so many opportunities here in Reading. Even the United Way has a volunteer line that you can call, and they're associated with so many different organizations that they can recommend some for you, whatever you want to do. But the other thing with volunteerism, don't think you can only go in with what you do. If you're an accountant, that doesn't mean you have to volunteer to be an accountant, because maybe you want to do something different that's more rejuvenating, maybe more action related. You know, you don't always have to do what you do for a profession for a board. Maybe something different would actually be more energizing for you.
All right. Thank you, Elaine. We
Thank
truly
you.
appreciate it. And we will see you on BCTV
yes,
soon,
you
I hope.
will. Oktoberfest, October 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Thank you so much.
All right. We appreciate it. These are the People Chronicles. I'm Jackie Hoffman with Elaine McDevitt.